Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Prasad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vaja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai Shri Amuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Jai Shri Śrīmad-Bhagavad-gītā ki Jai Mahabharat ki Jai Shri Krishna Dvaipayan Veda Vyasdev ki Jai Jai Shri Bhagavan Krishna Chandra ki Jai Shri Goparaj Nandan Shri Krishna Chandra ki Jai Jai Shri Arjuna ki Jai Jai all the commentaries on Bhagavad Gita um, especially by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Baladev Vijibhushan, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my Srila Gurudev, all of their commentaries and the commentaries of all of our acharyas on Bhagavad Gita. Ki Jai! Jai Shri Mokṣadā Ekādaśī Tithi Ki Jai! Tithi Palan Kari Vakta Vrinda Ki Jai! Jai Shri oh wait, and today is whose appearance day or disappearance day? The disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Kusum Shraman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Kusum Shraman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, everybody who's here, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Nitai Mukeshji, Yugal Kishore Kishori Didi, Indira Mataji, Kana Haladar Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, and Premavati Didi, right? Yeah, I think that's Premavati Didi. I don't know actually. And oh, I see there are 5 devotees there on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat Pranams. And also pranams to everybody watching in the future. So finally, after 6 day, this is our 6th day of doing our Bhagavad Gita recital. Our 7th day on the topic of Bhagavad Gita, we had one introduction day. So we will be completing the Bhagavad Gita today on this day this most auspicious day that Shri Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. We'll be going through chapters 16, 17, and 18. And because this is the final day, I thought it would be nice to read the chapter summaries by my Srila Gurudev. That equals to, I think it's 2,000 something words. And then our reading will be 4,000 something words. And so I think, yeah. Um, I wonder, maybe we should do the recital first, and then the chapter, I'll do the chapter summary at the end so that if anybody needs to leave, then they can. Because that will make us go a little bit over time if we read the chapter summary. So yeah, I'll do that. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So, okay, it is Premabhati Didi. Yeah, and especially for people like Premabhati Didi, it's very late at night right now, so I don't want to keep you up too late. Um, I also, for today's reading, at the end, there's Srila Prabhupada's introduction, or like the Mangala Charan. He wrote a very beautiful, I think it's 8 verses song, at the beginning of his Gita Gan. And so that's very beautiful. I wanted to sing that. And then last night I was with Sripad Bhaktivedanta Padmanabha Maharaj, and he was telling me about Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Goswami Maharaj's commentary on the Chatushloki, and how he goes deep into, like he shows through these 4 verses of the Chatushloki how Krishna is. We got a hint of it from my Param Gurudev, how it's indicating Raganuga Bhakti, but then Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Goswami Maharaj goes very deep into it and shows how upayantite means upapati bhav, like, loving Krishna in the paramour mood, and service to, Radha Dasya, and it goes very high all through Śrīmad-Bhagavad-gītā. So I just put it on a Word document to see how many words it is, and it is 4,000 words. So we definitely don't have time to read that today, but I'd like to read it tomorrow. That will be our program for tomorrow. It's going over Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's commentary on the Chatushloki. And that's what Padmanabha Maharaj, that's what his class is going to be today in Keshavji Gaudiya Math. So if anybody wants to follow that, you can, all his classes are broadcasts. All right, let's begin. I'm going to stop talking. Oh, and Haribol, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Pavatarani Mataji, and Deepika Gupta. Oh, and Sri Devi Didi, Haribol. Okay. Oh, and is it, I don't know if it's, yeah, is it Pavatarani Mataji? Is it your birthday today? Or was it yesterday?
Yeah, it's their birthday. She just tipped out. I'm just about to get discharged from the hospital,
Okay.
and she went to do a couple of things. So yeah, it's
Oh,
her
okay.
birthday.
Wow. Okay. Well, if Pavatarani Mataji sees us later on, then happy birthday, people.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Well, she'll be back in 5 minutes. So.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's begin. I'm just sharing my screen, and then let's go.
Dandavas to all, Dandavas Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat perhaps. Okay. Okay. So let's see how. Um. So chapter. Let's just look at the all the chapters that we went through in this third part of Bhagavad Gita, the Gyan Yoga section. So, chapter 13 is nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. In the middle 6 chapters, and I'm reading from this book, Gita Subodhini by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. It's a very helpful study guide for Bhagavad Gita. So, in the middle 6 chapters, Krishna described Bhakti Yoga along with the precise natures of the jiva, the Lord, and matter, and how they are related. The first 6 chapters showed how karma leads to bhakti, and the last 6 chapters will show how gyan leads to bhakti. So the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita shows how karma leads to bhakti, then the middle 6 chapters are all about bhakti, and then the last 6 chapters show how gyan leads to bhakti. In the final 6 chapters, Krishna describes gyan mixed with bhakti, while indirectly showing Kevala Bhakti, that means exclusive devotion, to be the supreme. In the 13th chapter, Krishna speaks detailed knowledge of the body, the jiva, the paramatma, and prakriti. Then, in chapter 14, so in the previous chapter, chapter 13, Lord Krishna said in verse 22 that the living entity takes up repeated birth and death due to association with the modes of material nature, due to the gunas. In this chapter 14, Krishna explains what those modes of material nature are, how they work, how they bind the living entity, and how they are destroyed by Krishna Bhakti. So that was the three modes of material nature. That's what the chapter is. And then chapter 15, the yoga of the Supreme Person, Purushottam Yoga. So in chapter 14, Krishna said, he is the basis and supreme shelter of Brahman in verse 27. That's the last verse, yeah. Krishna also said that by performing bhakti, one can transcend the material modes and attain the status of Brahman. That's in verse 26, the verse before the last verse. But to attain devotion and attachment to Krishna, one needs to also develop detachment from this material world. In this chapter, chapter 15, Krishna describes the process of breaking attachment to this material world. He compares this world to a banyan tree and detachment to an axe to cut it. He then describes Purushottama Yoga. Vedas. This chapter explains that purpose of, this chapter explains that the purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. Then chapter 16, that's what we're starting with today, the divine and demoniac natures. Oh, and Haribol Anadi Krishna Prabhu. Anadi Krishna Prabhu just shared something, an interesting small article regarding the word Jayanti. Cool. Let's check that out. Well, we'll check that out at the end. Thanks for sharing. And Haribol Chatamai Mataji. I already said Deepika Gupta, yeah. Okay, and Brinda Didi, Haribol. Haribol Mataji. Okay, so yeah, now we're beginning with chapter 16, the divine and demoniac natures. First three verses is the Daivi Sampad, divine qualities. Then verses 4 to 8 is Asurak Sampad, the demoniac qualities. And then verses 10 to 20, activities of the demoniac people and the consequences, their tendencies, conduct, attitude, engagements, thoughts, and destination. And then the last five verses of this chapter is on the topic of giving up demoniac tendencies, lust, anger, and greed, which are three gates to hell, and following the scriptures. So in the previous chapter, chapter 15, Krishna described the banyan tree of the material world, but its fruits have not been described. In this chapter, Krishna describes the fruits of the tree, which are of two varieties. There are good fruits, there are divine qualities that cause liberation, and bad fruits, demoniac qualities that cause bondage. First, he describes the good fruits. Daivi Sampad, the divine qualities, good fruits. Fearlessness, purity of consciousness, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, sacrifice, Vedic study, austerity, all this. So we'll go through that now. First three verses. Okay. Oh, but before we start, I almost forgot the Mangala Charan. So let's do that now. I'm going to put on just a soft drone in the background so that I don't, it's just, when I'm doing a long recitation, it's helpful for me. Let me just open it up. 1 second. No, see. Okay. Whoa, that's loud. Okay, there. Okay. So Mangala Charan, prayers invoking auspiciousness. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितं पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारते अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद् गीते भवर्वेशिनीम्। नमोस्तु ते व्यास विशालबुद्धे फूलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्ण प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपा प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दन पार्थवत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। The crest jewels of the Vedas, all the Upanishads, are like the cow, and the milker of the cow is Lord Shri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. And saying the son of Nanda Maharaj, not just saying the son of Vasudeva. So, Goparaj Nandan Krishna. Arjuna is the calf. The nectar of the Gita is the milk, and the fortunate devotees are the enjoyers of that milk. And so my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he says, through this Gopala Nandana, it's showing how Krishna actually, even though it's, to most people, it seems like Krishna was only explaining self-surrender unto Krishna, devoid of Raganuga Bhakti and these eternal relationships with Krishna in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. But actually, no, if we look more deeply, then through certain verses of the Bhagavad Gita, we see that it's actually Nanda Nandan Krishna, Goparaj Nandan Krishna of Vrindavan, who is speaking the Bhagavad Gita, and he is imparting the secrets of Raganuga Bhakti. And we're going to read an article, we're going to read how Krishna, like we're going to read the explanation of Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj tomorrow, which very clearly shows this. Okay. Vasudeva Sutang Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnang Vande Jagarguru. I bow unto the lotus feet of Śrī Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the vanquisher of the demons, Kamsa and Chanura, the joy of Mother Devaki and the universal teacher. Tavaivasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam, bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay, shiftashtakamadhitaranga madhye, kripa maitam Sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is it. This is what we'll read tomorrow. Oh, and Padmanabha Maharaj told me that Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj even explains these meanings to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, it cannot but be so when he's referring to Upayantite as being Upapati Bhav, more relationship with Krishna. Anyhow, we will go through that tomorrow. Okay, beginning chapter 16. So what was it? In the previous chapter, Krishna described the banyan tree of the material worlds. And now in this chapter, he's describing the fruits of that banyan tree of the material world, the divine and demoniac natures. So Shri, and these we're reading the translations of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Sangsudhe Jnana Yogena sorry, Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Danam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayastapayarjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Tyaga Shantir Apaishunam Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptam Tvam Mardat Mardadvang Hrir Achapalam Teja Kshama Dhriti Shocham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadang Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Fearlessness, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, important one, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with a divine nature. And now the demoniac qualities. Dambo darpo bhimanascha krodha pौरुषमेव cha agyanam cha bijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. One second, let me just move this over here. There. Okay. Daivi samparvi mokshaya nibandhaya surimata mashucha sampadang daivim abhijato si pandava. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. Dvau bhuta sargalokesmin daiva asura eva cha daiva vistarasha prokta asurang partha me shrinu. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Pravritim cha nivritim cha janana vidurasura na shocham na pinchacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Asatyam apratishhtante jagarahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kamahaitukam. They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Etang drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanolpabudaya prabhavantyugrakarmana kshayaya jagato hita. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. And now the next 11 verses is Krishna is going to explain the activities of the demoniac people and the consequences, their tendencies, conduct, attitude, engagements, thoughts, and destination. Kamam ashrita dushpuram dambamana madanvita mohar grihit vasar grahan pravartante shuchivrata. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Chintam aparimeyang cha pralayantam upashrita kamopabhoga parama etavar iti nishchita. Ashapasha shatarbadha kama krodha parayana ihante kama bhogartam anyaye nartha sanchayan. They believe that to glorify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Idam adya maya labdham imam prapsye manoratam idam asti idam api me bhavishyati punardhanam aso maya hata shratrur hanishye cha paran api ishvaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. Adyo bijanavan asmi konyosti sadrisho maya yakshe dasyami modisha ityajnana maho vimohita. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I'll gain more and more according to my schemes. I'll gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Anekachitta vibhranta mohajala samavrita prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu cho. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Atmasambhavita stabdha dhanamana madanvita yajante nama yagyaiste dambhena vidipurvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha sangshrita mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto bhyasuyakta. Sorry, bhyasuyaka. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and they blaspheme against the real religion. Tanaham dvishata kruran samsareshu naradhamam kshipam yajasrama shubhan asurive asurishveva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Asurim yonimapanna mura janmani janmani mama prapyaiva konteya tato yantya dhamam gatim. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. And now, yeah, so we're going to hear about giving up these demoniac tendencies and following the scriptures. Trividam narakasyedam dvaram nashanamatmana kama krodhastata lobhas tasmare tatrayam tyaje. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. These are the three gates leading to hell. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the for these three, lust, anger, and greed, lead to the degradation of the soul. Etar vimukta konteya tamodvaraistribir nara acharatyatmana shreyas tatto yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. Yashastra vidima it utsrija vartate kamakarata nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukhang na param gatim. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. Tasmachastram pramanante karya karya vyavastito gyatva shastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So that is the end of 16. In chapter 16, which we just read, Krishna has established that faithful followers of the scriptures are divine, and that faithless are demoniac. In verse 23, was that the last verse? No. In the second to the last verse, Krishna has concluded that those who disregard scriptures and behave whimsically do not attain happiness in this life or the next. Now, in this chapter 17, Arjuna asks Krishna about the fate of those who have some other faith which is not based on the scriptures. In response, Krishna describes faith and various other items in the three modes. In short, Krishna described in chapter 16 people of two extremes, those who have scriptural faith, who are divine, and those who are devoid of faith, those who are demoniac. In chapter 16, he describes those who are in the middle, that is, with non-scriptural faith. Interesting. Okay, so now the first verse, Arjuna's inquiry about the unauthorized worship of those who have some faith, which is not based on scriptures. And then verses 2 to 7, we're going to read the three modes determine one's faith. The three modes determine one's shraddha, one's faith, and their worship. Okay, let's begin. Chapter 17, the divisions of faith. Arjuna uvacha ye shastra vidimutsrijya yajante shadayanvita tesham nishta tuka Krishna sattvam aho rajastama. Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture, but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Chetitang Shrinu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddha mayo yang purusho yo yat shraddha sa evacha sa. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be, of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Yajante sattvika devan yaksha rakshangsi rajasa pretan bhuta ganangs chanye yajante tamasa jana. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapojana dambhahankara sangyukta kama raga palanvita karshayanta sharirasta bhuta gramam achetasa mam chaivanta sharirasta tan vidya sura nishchaya. Those who those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish, and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the supersoul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. Wow, they even torture the supersoul dwelling within. Aharastvapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priya yagyastapastata danam tesham bhedam imang shrinu. Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds. There's food according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now hear of the distinctions between them. So first, Krishna is going to go through the foods in the three modes. Then later on, he'll go through the sacrifices in the three modes. Then the three types of charity, and then austerity in the three modes, and then charity in the three modes. Okay, so food. One second. I'm starting to get a little bit tired, so I'm gonna move the table up. On Haribol Vidyalala Saditi. One second. I have a sit stand table. Now I won't fall asleep. Okay. Ayu Sattva Balarogya Sukha Priti Vivardhana Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya Ahara Sattvika Priya. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Katvam lavanatyushna tikshna ruksha vidahina ahara rajasasyeshta dukkha shoka maya prada. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. Yata yamangata rasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam apichamedhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Haribo Vidilala Sadidi. Okay. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid. And food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Now, oops. Now is the sacrifices in the three modes. Apalankangshiphiryagyo vedidishto na ya ejyate yashtavyam evati mana samadhaya sasatvika. Of sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the directions of Scripture as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is of the nature of goodness. Abhisandhayatu phalam tam dambhartam apichayvayat ijyate bharata shrestha tam yagyam vedirajasan. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, O chief of the Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion. Vedihinam asrishtanam mantrahinam adakshinam Shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. Any sacrifice performed without regard for the directions of scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remunerations to the priests, and without faith, is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Deva dvija guru pragya pujanam shochamarjavam brahmacharyam ahimsa cha shariram tapa uchyate. Now is austerity, right? Yeah. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. So it's reminding me of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's verse from Swanyam Tadashakam. Mama tapa. Anyways, I'll go through that later. Anudvega karang vakyam satyam priya hitang chayat swadhyayabhyasanang chaiva vangmayang tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech consists in making words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Mana prasada somyatvam monamatma vinirgraha bhava sangshudirete tat tapo manasamuchyate. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Shraddhaya paraya taptang tapastat trividam naray afalankang shibhir yuktai satvikang parichakshate. This threefold austerity, performed with transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits, but engaged only for the sake of the Supreme, is called austerity and goodness. Satkara mana pujartham tapodambhena chaivayat kriyate tar iha proktam rajasam chalamadruvam. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. Mudha grahenat manoyat pidaya kriyate tapa parasyotsadanarthang va tattamasam udahritam. Penance performed out of foolishness, with self-torture, or to destroy or injure others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. And now charity. Tatavyam iti yaddanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Charity given out of duty, without expectation of return, at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person, that is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishya va puna diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. But charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruit of results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be charity in the mode of passion. Adesha kaliyaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avagyatam tattamasam udahritam. And charity performed at an impure place at an improper time to unworthy persons or without proper attention and respect is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Om Tat Sad iti Om Tat Sad iti nirdesho Brahmanastri vidasmrita Brahmanastena vedascha Yagyascha vihita pura. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. All these three symbolic representations were used by Brahmins while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and doing sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. How many verses are 28 verses in this chapter? Tasmad om ityudahritya yagyadana tapakriya pravartante vidanokta satatang pramavadina. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme. Tad ityanabhisan Tad ityanabhisandhaya. Sorry, I messed up that one. Phalam yagya tapa kriya dana kriyascha vividha kriyante moksha kankshibhi. Without desiring fruit of results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sad itte tat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sachabda partayujyate yagye tapasidane cha stiti sariti chochate karma chaiva tararthiyam saditeva bidhiyate. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Pritha. This is the last verse of the chapter. Ashadaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asarityuchyate partha nacha tat pretuno iha. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat, and it is useless both in this life and the next. And now we begin chapter 18, the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, the perfection of renunciation. Let's see. So, let's see what's written here. In the previous chapters, a description of various systems of yoga has been presented, and the supremacy of bhakti yoga has been emphasized. In this final chapter, Lord Krishna gives an overview of Bhagavad Gita and stresses that bhakti, devotional service, and loving surrender to Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. Krishna begins by reiterating his prescription that Arjuna should renounce the fruit of work, not work itself. Renounce the fruit of work, not the work itself. Thus, Krishna reviews that dutiful, detached work is true renunciation, which brings no reaction. And then finally, comes to the topmost instructions, Uttama Bhakti. No, wait, Madmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. Yeah, that is Bhakti. Okay. So, the first 12 verses that we're going through is on the topic of freedom from bondage through karma yoga. Okay. Freedom from bondage through karma yoga. Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichhami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha prittakeshi nishudana. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, of tyag, and of the renounced order of life, sannyas, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyas. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyag. So giving up material desire is sannyas, and giving up the results of activities is tyag. Tyajyam dosha varityeke karma prahur manishina yagyadana tapa karma na tyajyam iti cha pare. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activity should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Nishchayam shrinume tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyagra trivida samprakirtita. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Yagyadana tapa karma na tyajyam karmana me sai na tyajyam karyameva tat yagyodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Etanyapi tu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyanniti me parta nishchitam matamuttamam. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result, without any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. Niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano no papadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtita. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is to be in the mode of ignorance. Dukkam ityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajit sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalang labhe. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Karyam ityeva yat karma niyatang kriyate Arjuna sangam tyaktva phalang chaiva satyaga satviko mata. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done, and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Na dveshtya kushalam karma kushale nanushajjate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna sanshaya. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work, nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. Nahi deha brita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshata yastu karma phala tyagi satyagitya bhidhiyate. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. But he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Anishtam ishtam ishrang cha trividam karmana phalam bhavatyatyaginaam pretya natu sannyasinam kvachit. For one who is not renounced, the three fruits of action, desirable and undesirable and mixed. So these are the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to enjoy or suffer. Okay, so that was all. Let me just move this over here again. So that was all on the topic of freedom from bondage through karma yoga. Now, up to verse 17 will be the 5 factors of action: the body, the doer, the senses, effort, and the supersoul. And then the doership and non-doership mentalities. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame sankhye kritante proktani siddhaye sarva karmanam. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritagvidam vividhascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the supersoul. These are the 5 factors of action. Shariravan manobhiryat karma prarabhate nara nyayang va piparitang va panchaite tasya hetava. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or spirit is caused by these 5 factors. Tatraivam satikartaram atmanam kevalam tuya pashyatya krita buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmati. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Yasya nahankrito bhavo buddhiryasya na lipyate hatvapi sa imal lokan nahanti na nibadhyate. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his actions. Now verses 18 to 40. This goes through the modes, the modes control all activities of and all beings. So the three motivators and three constituents of action. Then knowledge, jnana, in three modes. Karma, work, in three modes. Karta, the worker, in three modes. Then intelligence or understanding, buddhi, in three modes. Determination in three modes. Happiness in three modes. These are the topics that we're going through in these up to verse 40. Seems like it's like 2 or 3 verses for each one of these. Jnanam geyam pratigyata trivida karma chodana karanam karma kartete trivida karma sangraha. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate action. What is that? That's jnanam, geyam. So there's jnanam, the knowledge, geyam, the object of knowledge, and parigyata, the knower. These are the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridaiva guna bhedata prokshate guna sankhane yatavashrinutanyapi. According to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayamikshate avibhaktai avibhaktam vibhakteshu tajjnanam vidhi satvikam. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. Pritaktvena tu jnanam nana bhavan pritagvidan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tajjnanam vidirajasam. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, that knowledge you should understand to be in the mode of passion. Yattu kritsna vade kasmin karye saktam ahaitukam atatvarta varalpam cha tattamasam udahritam. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. Niyatam sangarahitam raga deshata kritam afala prepsuna karma yatat sattvikamochyate. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruit of results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. Yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va puna kriyate bahulasayam. Kriyate bahulayasam tadrajasam udahritam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the pure mode of passion. Anubandam kshayam hingsan anapeksha cha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yattatama samuchyate. That action performed an illusion in regard to scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others, that kind of action is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Mukta sango nahang vadi dhrityutas utasaha samvata siddhya siddhyor nivakara karta sattvika uchyate. Ragi karma. Sorry, did I read the translation? I'm starting to fall asleep. Yeah, one who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. Ragi karma phala prepsur, lubdho himsatmako shuchi, harsha shokanvita karta, rajasa parikirtita. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. Ayukta prakrita stabdha shashto naishkritira sai shato naishkritiko lasa vishadi dirga sutricha karta tamasa uchyate. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating, that person is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. Udirbhedam driteshchaiva kunatastrividam shrinu prochyamanam asheshena prakritattvena dhana sorry prakritetvan dhananjaya pritakttvena dhananjaya. Sorry, oh my god, I need to move around. Um, oh, winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. So the three different kinds of understanding and determination. Pravritting cha nivritting cha karya karye bhaya bhaye pandam moksham cha yaveti buddhisa partha sattviki. O son of Pritham, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, that person is in a mode of goodness. Discrimination. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam eva cha ayatavat prajanati buddhisa partarajasi. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, that person is in a mode of passion. Adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitangscha buddhisa tamasi. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, that person is in a mode of ignorance. Dhrityaya dharayate mana pranendriya kriya yogena vyabhicharinya Dritti sa partha sattviki. O son of Pritha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. Yayatu dharma kamarthan dritya dharayate Arjuna prasangena palakankshi dritti sa partha rajasi. But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. Heya swapnam vayam shokam vishadam madameva cha na vimochanti durmedha dritti sa parthatamasi. And that determination which could not go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Such unintelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of darkness. Sukam tvidanim trividam, shrinu me bharatarshava, abhyasad ramate yatra, dukhantam cha nigacchati. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes into the contact, by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. So these are the three kinds of happiness. Yattad agre visham eva praname mrito, pariname mritopamam tatsukam cha satvikam, tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhir prasadajam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, that is said to be happiness and the mode of goodness. Vishayendriya samyogar yatad agre mritopaman pariname visham eva tatsukam rajasam smritam. The happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but its poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion. It's like poison at first, but then poison at the ends. That is said to be the nature of passion. Yad agre cha nubhande cha sukang mohanamatmana nidralasya pramadottam tattamasam udahritam. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which increases from sleep, laziness, and illusions, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. Natarasti prativyang cha, natarasti prativyang va, devi deveshu va puna, sattvam prakriti jar muktam, yare babhisyastribhir, yare bhisyatribhir gunai. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed. There's no person either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. Now, verses 41 to 48 is on the topic of purification through prescribed duties of Varnashram. Brahmana kshatriya visham shudranam cha parantapa karmani prabhivaktani svabhava prabhavair gunai. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the material modes, O chastiser of the enemy. Shamodamastapa shocham kshantir arjavanam sorry kshantir arjavam evacha jnana vijnana yastikyam brahma karma sabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. Shauryam tejo dhritir daksham yude chapya palayanam dhanamishwaram bhavascha kshatram karma sabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. Krishigo rakshavanijyam vaishya karma svabhavajam paricharyatmakam karma shudrasyapi svabhavajam. Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras, there are labor and service to others. Swe swe karmanyabhirata samsiddhim labate nara swakarma nirata siddhim yata vindati tachrinu. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam sakarmanana tam sakarmana tam abhyar sorry, I'm falling asleep again. Dang it. um I don't even know where I was. Okay, sorry guys. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam sakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhing vindati manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. By worshiping the Lord. Okay. Shreyan sadharma viguna paradharmat svanushtitat sabhava niyatam karma kurvam napnoti kilbisham. This is a famous verse. Very important verse. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Very important verse. Sahajam karma konteya sadosham apina tyajet sarvarambha hidoshena dhumenagnir ivavrita. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. Another very important verse. Let's both go together. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha naishkarmya siddhim paramang sanyasena dikachati. One who is self-controlled and unattached, and who regards all material enjoyments, and who disregards all material enjoyments, can obtain by the practice of renunciation, the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Seding prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti nibodhame samasenaiva konteya nishta jnanyasya ya para. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. One second. Sorry. Sorry. Buddhya Vishuddhaya Yukto Dhrityatmanam Niyamya cha Shabdadin Vishayangs Tyaktva Ragadvesho Vyudhasya cha Vivikta Se Vilagvashi Yattavakaya Manasa Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam Vairagyam Samupashrita Ahankaram Balam Darpan Kamam Krodam Parigraham Vimuchya Nirmama Shanto Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred. One who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance, and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. And now, also, this is a very famous verse. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mar bhaktim labhate param. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. And how many ways did Mahaprabhu explain this verse to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Was it like 56 or something like that? Anyways, there's many, many ways. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschashmi tattvata tatto mam tattvato gyatva vishate tar anantaram. One can understand me as I am, as a supreme personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Jai. Where are we? Okay, so now verses 56 to 66 is on the topic of pure bhakti, acting in Krishna consciousness. So there's working and not working in Krishna consciousness, surrendering to the Supersoul, and surrendering to Lord Krishna. I'm just going to, because I was starting to get a little drowsy, I'm just going to very quickly it'll take me like a few seconds. I'm just going to do something to wake me up. And then, yeah, so just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm awake. Sorry, guys. I went to sleep. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. Okay. There. Okay, Sarva. Where is it? Okay. So, working and not working in Krishna consciousness, up to verse 60. Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano marvyapashraya mat prasadad avapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. He's under my protection, and he reaches the eternal, imperishable abode by my grace, even though he's engaged in all kinds of activities. Cetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matpara buddhiyogam upashritya machitta satatang bhava. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Beautiful verse, huh? Machita sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atachetvam ahankaran nashroshyasi vinakshyasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the objects of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Yarahankaramashritya nayotsya iti manyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakritistvam niyokshati. If you do not act according to my direction, and you do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in war. Sorry, by your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Sabhava jena konteya nibbada sena karmana kartum nechasi na yan mohat karishyasya vashopitat. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But, compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesherjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. This is also a famous verse. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Tameva sharanam gacha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim stanam prapsyasi shashvatam. O scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Ittite jnanamakyatam goyar gohyatarang maya vimrishaitar asheshena yate chasi tata kuru. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. Sarvaguyatamang bhuya shrinu me paramang vacha ishtosi me dridam iti tato vakshyami te hitam. Because you are my very dear friends, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Okay, now we come to this most important verse. My Gurudev wrote a whole book on this verse. This is the first book my Gurudev ever wrote in English. Published in English. It was on this verse, Nectar of Govinda Lila. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyasi satyang te pratijane priyosi me. Always think of me, manmana bhava. Become my devotee, mad bhakto. Worship me, madhyaji mam, and offer your homage unto me, namaskuru. Thus you will come to me. Mam evaishyasi, satyam te, I promise you this, because you are my very dear friends. Prati jane priyosime. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekang sharanang vraja ahang tvang sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion, sarva dharmam parityaja, and just surrender unto me. Mam ekam sharanam braja. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Um, yeah. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So that's ahangtam. I to you sarvapapebhyo from all sins. Mokshaishami. I shall deliver. Ma shucha. Do not fear. Idang te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na chashushrushabe vacham na chamam yo bhisuyati. Right, so these now from verses 67 to 78 is the conclusion. The glory of studying and teaching Bhagavad Gita, the realizations of Arjuna and realizations of Sanjay. And then we finish at verse 78. But see, that's like that. Those are the two last verses of Bhagavad Gita, like, Krishna's instructions. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you'll come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friends. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Okay, I already read the Sanskrit. Let's read the translation. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Ya idang paramam guhyam mar bhakteshva bhidasyati bhaktim mai parang kritva mami vaishyatya sanshaya. For one who explains the supreme secrets to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me. Wow. Jai. Na cha tasman manushyeshu kaschin me priyakritama bhavita na cha me tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And he's referring to somebody who spreads this, who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, right? One who explains the supreme secrets to the devotees, and pure devotional service is guaranteed. So it's kirtanam, right? That's speaking the words, speaking Harikatha, that's kirtan. So there's no, yeah, okay. Adhyashyate chaya imang dharmam sangvaramavayo jnana yagena tenaham ishtasyam iti me mati. And I declare that he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So the way to worship Krishna by your intelligence is to study Bhagavad Gita. Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrinuyad apiyo nara sopi mukta shubal lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Kachid etat shrutam partha tvayaicagrena cetasa kachira jnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Arjuna uvacha nashto moha smritir labdha tatprasadan maya chuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanang tava. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instructions. Sanjaya Uvacha Ityaham Vasudevasya Partasya cha Mahatmana Samvadam imamashrosham Arbhutam Romaharshana. Sanjaya said, thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. Vyasa prasadat shrutavan etar guhyam ahang param yogam yogeshwarat Krishna shakshat katayata swayam. By the mercy of Vyas, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who is speaking personally to Arjuna. Rajam sangsmritya samvadam imamarbhutam keshavarjunayo punyam rishyami cha muhur. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment. Tachcha samsmritya rupam atyarbhutam hare vismayo me mahan rajan hrishyami cha puna. O king, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. Now, this is the last verse of the Bhagavad-gītā. Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Jai Śrīmad-Bhagavad-gītā ki Jai. Jai Goparaj Nandan Shri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. The supreme archer Arjuna ki Jai. Krishna, master of mystics ki Jai. Jai Shri Sanjaya ki Jai. Jai Shri the Mahabharat ki Jai. Shri Krishna Dvaipayan Veda Vyasadeva ki Jai. All the commentaries, all the transcendental commentaries of our acharyas, like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Baladev Vijibhushan, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shrita Gosai Maharaj, Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, all the transcendental purports, their commentaries, ki jai, jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava, Vrinda ki jai, Shinitai Gaur, Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in all these Bhagavad Gita recitations. And if anybody needs to go, wow, it's already 8:45. Maybe I was thinking of like before my plan was to read the chapter summary of my Srila Gurudev, which is 2,000 words. I'm wondering if I should just end here though and read the summary tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna do a Jaidvani because it's a Kadashi for me here. So there's no breakfast or nothing I need to finish, So I'm gonna do a short Jaidvani. We'll end. And if anybody needs to go, you can go. And then after that, I will read the chapter summaries for anybody who wants to stay longer. And also, Anadi Krishna Prabhu sent me a small article. Actually, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to read whatever Anadi Krishna Prabhu sent regarding the word Jayanti. Let's see, how long is it? Oh, it's very short. Okay, I'm just going to read this. The Gita, and then I'll do Jaidwani, and then I'll read the. So, this is a post from Hari Parshad Prabhu. He says, "What is that article that you shared?" Oh, okay. Um, there's Yeah, I'll just share my screen so you can see. The Gita, the Gita Jayanti that is celebrated in India and nowadays in other parts of the world is not a date mentioned directly in Shastra. This date was derived using Anuman inference by some learned people in recent history. Still, there is a good chance that this date might not be the actual date that the Gita was spoken. There is no mention of any Gaudiya Vaishnavacharya celebrating this tithi in any society of devotees. The logic which was used to arrive at this particular date was mentioned in an article the Gita Press named Kalyan, February 1956 edition. I'm attaching a screenshot of the Hindi article for those who are interested. The Gita Jayanti is not mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Also, it is incorrect to use the term Jayanti for any other day besides the appearance day of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Still, it is good to have a particular day for celebrating Bhagavad Gita, but my request to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas is that they not call it Jayanti, because that is against Gaudiya Siddhanta. Better to call it Gita Mahotsav or something similar. Okay. But one thing I always like to check is to see um, if this is used in the to look at the calendars of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, because we are the followers of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Whatever he does, that's what we follow. That's our everything for us in his line. So I just want to make sure that he follows it, because I know um, there's also many people who recently started saying that no, Bahulashtami is not the appearance day of Radhakund. It's not the day that Radhakund appeared, and they said similar thing. But we see that Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in his own calendar would write the appearance day of Radhakund. And so all of our acharya is coming from him. So I also that's for us, that's the topmost, for us, that's Praman for us in his line. So I just want to check that also. But it's probably correct what Hari Parshad was saying. Yeah, I always like to be extra, yeah. All right, so we'll do a short Mahamantra, Jaidwani, and then if anybody wants to stay longer, they can. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्व गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shrimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanantari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. नामचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री मुन देवी कंग देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय जय श्री मोक्षदा एकादशी तिथि की जय तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय श्री भगवान श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय श्री अर्जुन की जय जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेद व्यास देव की जय all the Bhagavad Gita commentaries of our acharyas ki jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashicha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams, Niri Hari. Let's see who's all there. Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, and happy birthday, Bhavatarani Mataji. Pradrumna Prabhu, Mantra Murthy Mataji, Yugal Kishore Kishori Didi, Shri Devi Didi, Kana Haladar Prabhu, Chattamai Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, then Ganga Mataji, Premavati Didi, Vrinda Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Vangsiwala Prabhu, and I see there are 10 devotees there, still there. Wow, okay, Haribo. So something I forgot, I think a nice way to end our Bhagavad Gita recitation is with the prayers of Srila Prabhupada that he wrote in the beginning of his Gitarkan. We all know that he translated the entire Bhagavad Gita in Bengali poar, like a Bengali verse form. And so the introduction, there's 8 verses that he wrote, very beautiful. So I thought we can look at that. Let's see, where is it? Here it is, the Gitargan introduction by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, Shri Guru Vandana Kori Tahara Charana Dhori Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada Arjata Shiksha Guru Sabe Vancha Kalpataru Kripa Koro Guchaka Vishal. Srila Prabhupada says, touching the lotus feet of my spiritual teacher, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, I offer my respectful obeisances and orations to him, as well as the instructing spiritual masters who are desire trees. So he doesn't just offer pranam to Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, his Diksha Guru, who is also a Shiksha Guru, but also to all the Shiksha Gurus who are like desire trees. Rupa Sanatana Prabhu Gaudiya Acharya Vibhu, Arshe Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta, Vrindavane Jai Sanghata, Mile Prabhu Dasa Raghunath. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami are the acharyas between all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. With them, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami formed in an assembly and were intimate associates in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Goswami Prabhuragan, Ashraya Shri Charan, Anyamor Kichu Ashanai, তার মধ্যে যে জীব উজ্জ্বল আচার্য দীপ দিয়াছেন চরণেতে ঠাঁই. I do not long for another thing more than the exclusive protection and refuge of the lotus feet of these Goswamis. Between all acharyas, Srila Jiva Goswami stands out as a shining torch of knowledge. It has um, It has much mercy when giving me residence next to his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada is referring to the temple of Sri Radha Damodar that he was in when he wrote this. Amishe durmati ati vishaya bhogete mati kripa kori anilo taniya murka mui nichad ati Shri Siddhanta Saraswati kripa vari dilo sheshinchiya. I am a person of very evil and injurious mentality because I am always engrossed in the allowance of the senses with the material benefit. Although this is the condition of my mind, by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, yeah, by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he is kind to me, removing to me and retiring to me of this dark. I don't know who translated this. The English is a little bit strange. Anyways, I am simply an idiot, and I am extremely fallen and of low birth. But even so, my Guru Maharaj has kindness to sprinkle on my heart the rain of its divine compassion. Patita Pavana Prabhu Nityananda Gora Vibhu Shri Advaita Kripa Paravar Shri Vasari Gadadhar Kripa Koro He Kinkar Bhujilam Tava Kripa Sar. O lifter of the fallen souls, O Lord, O omniscient lords Nityananda and Gora, O Advaita Prabhu, the ocean of mercy, O Shivas and Gadadhar, heads of the disciplic succession, please show mercy to this servant. I wish to understand that their mercy alone is solely the real essence of life. No, it says, I have understood, not I wish to understand. Vujilam Tava Kripasar. I have understood that their mercy is everything. Vrindavana Ramyastan Seva Kunja Tar Nam Shri Radha Damodar Stiti Tahara Charane Mui Ekanta Ashray Loi Kripa Kori Koro Moragati. In the lovely place of Vrindavan Dham, in the grove named Sevakunj, that is where Shri Radha Damodar is situated. Their lotus feet is the only wait Tara Charani Mui Ekanta. Yes. Their lotus feet is my only refuge. That is my exclusive refuge. Please show mercy upon me and become my refuge. Shri Gitar Gana E Tomara Charane Tui Lohomor E Pushpanjali Ki Jani Ki Liki ekanta bharasa tumi, je likao she padyavali. Please accept this Shri Gitargan as an offering of flowers to your lotus feet. Whatever I know, whatever I write, I have exclusive faith in you, in that you are actually, it is you who are actually writing these verses. Or no, you're having me write these verses, right? I have exclusive faith. Yeah. Um, Abhaya charana tava ashraye sarvada e mora nitya kala ash. Bhakti Vedanta bole, ami kintu dasa hole, vimochana e mayar phans. I always remain fearless by always taking shelter at your lotus feet. This is my eternal wish, Bhaktivedanta says. I am only your servant. Please release me from the noose of Maya. Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. So it's 9 o'clock now. I think it's late enough. I'm going to end here, and we'll read the summaries tomorrow, the chapter summaries of the first 18 verses. Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. As I mentioned before, tomorrow we're going to be reading Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's his very deep, very Vraj Rasik explanations on the four verses, most essential verses, the Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita. And it goes into Radhadasyam, Parakya Bhav, like it's very, very high topics. And Srila Bhakti Sridhar Goswami Padmanabh Maharaj told me that he spoke this all to Srila Prabhupada, or he explained this meaning, and Srila Prabhupada agreed with his understanding of the verses. So that will be a special treat for us tomorrow. Or if anybody wants to hear it earlier, Padmanabh Maharaj is going to speak on it today. At, I don't know, maybe in like, I think he'll probably start speaking in like 3 hours from now. You can check it out on Facebook, on his Facebook page. Yeah. All right. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. 160. Oh, and Hare Krishna Amit